Hello everyone. I am going to be making a Minnie Mouse peeker, and I've already chosen my towel color, the colors for each of the steps. As you guys can see here, I drew a line completely in the middle to place my towel. I folded my towel in half. I actually cut 4 pieces for the hood from one towel. The dimensions are 21 by 11 inches. So 21 is the length, 11 is the height of each of the hoods. I'm going to make 2 pink ones. One's going to be a Minnie Mouse, one's going to be a sky. But for this video, I'm going to make the Minnie Mouse. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull my machine up. This is just to show you the line that I pushed. So let's get started with the first step. What I like about this is I like to put a placement to see where I'm going to place my towel. This design is from Appliques with Character, but this step is not a part of their design, but I like to put it just so I can know when to place my towel. So as you guys can see, here is the placement of my towel. I folded my towel in half. Excuse me, you guys. And this is the bottom of my towel. So I am going to place the towel, sorry. Excuse me, you guys. Alright, I'm actually going to take the hoop out to place it because the camera is in the way. Just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so this is half of my towel. I'm going to try to bring it back. So this is the half mark on my towel. So I'm going to open it and position it so the towel is not in the way. Just making sure it lines up correctly. And I'm using sticky stabilizer only because it is a hood. And I want to make sure that everything falls straight. So I'm going to pull this back, you guys. Hopefully you guys can see. So therefore, nothing's in the way of the needles and everything like that. So my next step is going to be the placement of her ears. Just move this thread out the way. And you guys could use a contrasting color to make sure that you guys can see where the placement stitches are. I'm using black because her ears are black, but when I tack it down, it's going to be in white so I know where to cut around my applique. So this is so you guys can see that this is the placement of the ears, the top of the head, and then here as well. So I'm going to be using marine vinyl. I apologize, I hit the camera. And I'm going to place it down. Now, if you want to, you can use basting spray to hold it down, but I'm not. So I'm using a white contrasting thread so I can see where my design is being tacked down to cut around it. So at this step, I'm going to move my machine up so you guys can see. This is the tack down. So I'm going to take my embroidery scissors. These are some small curve Fiskar scissors that I'm going to use to cut around the design. And if you want to, you can take the design from the hoop, or you can take the hoop out. But since I'm using a mighty frame, I don't want to take it out. So it's up to you if you want to cut around it. Okay, so I cut the black material from the vinyl, from her ears and just a little portion in the middle. So now we're going to do her face. Alright, so once again, I'm using vinyl, and this is like a beige cream for her face. And I'm not putting basting spray because I don't need it. But do be careful with your hands so you don't get it caught in the needle. As always, I pull the machine up close so I can cut around it. I don't like to take the hoop out. Just personal preference. Now, if you guys hear the television in the background, that's my youngest daughter who is watching her YouTube videos because she's not allowed to be on any technology during the week during school. So Saturdays and Sundays are the days. So, and these walls are very thin, so you could probably hear the video going on. She loves to watch her YouTube videos on the weekends. So now I'm making the placement stitch for the bow. Clip that thread. I'm using this nice pale pink vinyl for her bow because the person requested a pink towel with the pink bow for Minnie Mouse. So I'm using two different color pinks so they're not clashing. And of course I'm using a contrast thread, which is white, for the tat down. Now I'm going to cut around the bow. It's a little awkward for me only because I'm doing the video. I'm not exactly in the middle of. Sorry for my hand being in the way. If the camera wasn't here, I could have cut this a little bit faster, but that's okay. And be careful as you cut around your applique or fabric that you don't cut in between the stitches. So I'm going to go around to see if I can cut around this bow. Just gonna cut here so I can get in between the bow. Okay. So I'm going to just use my seam ripper so I can get in between it, because I do not want to take my hoop off the machine. Like I said, it would be easier if the camera wasn't in the way. But be careful you're not cutting the actual towel as well. Awesome. And I'm just gonna nick this little part of the towel that I nicked, because it happens. Make sure these are out the way. And then the last part is going to be her nose that we use vinyl for. Cut this thread out the way. I'm going to use that little piece of black for her nose. Once again, please be careful with your hands if you're just holding it down. So this is the last piece for any applique part, and it's going to stitch the satin around everything. Now, before I do that, I like to place water soluble stabilizer around my image. So this is what I'm going to use, just so that it covers the whole entire design. And you will need to pin it down with some pins, which I do, just so it doesn't pucker as much or get in the way of other stitches. So I'm going to lay it down as so. I'm going to take these pins and pin it down. And I like to do it in all the four corners. And just be careful, sorry, I had some pins in my mouth, that you don't pin anywhere near where your needle will be passing. Ask me how I know. Okay. Make sure it stretches a little so it doesn't get in the way. Alright, so this is what it looks like. And then it's going to do the satin around everything. So I'm just going to show you what it does with the ear. Uh-oh, I forgot something. Her hands. I forgot something. So I'm not going to take it all the way off. Just going to pull it back because her hands go here. I forgot a step. So make sure that's not in the way. So it's going to be white for this part. Alright, now I can say this is the last step. Thank God for the machine that shows you what steps are next. I did forget. Anything that's not in the way, just push back. Even the threads. Make sure you get all around every piece. All right, so this is where I'm going to bring back my water soluble stabilizer, and I'm going to just repin the bottoms and make sure anything that's not in the way can be moved. So I'm going to repin this bottom here. And here. There we go. Okay. So this is going to be the satin for the ears. After this, I'll probably stop the video and show you when it's completely done. So I just want to show you guys, this is what the satin stitch looks like. And the water soluble stabilizer is just to protect the I forgot what is this called, of the towel, so it's not stuck into the satin stitches. So I'm gonna stop the okay, you guys, so I finished the design, and now I'm going to take off the water soluble stabilizer and show you how I sew the hood together. So bear with me. I'm going to stop the video here, and then when I take off the water soluble stabilizer, I will show you guys how I sew it together. Alright, you guys, so I'm on my Juki Industrial. My domestic is not, you know, working as we speak. So this is my towel. I am going to fold it. This is the top half. So here is your design, and then I'm going to fold it in half, and then the portion where the top of the design is, I'm going to pin these together. Excuse me, you guys. I have a head cold. But I'm being very cautious about this order that I'm doing, because they are going to wash it as soon as they get it. So I'm going to sew a half seam allowance. My thread is red, but they won't see it, so it really doesn't matter, because it'll blend in with the pink. All right, so here we go. Just sewing at a half seam allowance. Make sure you back stitch. All right, so I'm going to take my pins out. Forgive me if you guys hear my oldest daughter. She's washing dishes and she's making noise at the same time. So I guess that's what gets the job done. Now I'm going to flip it around. And it's done. But if you want a French seam, you can sew at a quarter inch seam allowance. Make sure you backstitch the beginning. Okay, so that's that. And that's how you have your seam on the back. So this is going to be the hood, if you guys can see. Perfectly done, like a triangle. And then when you actually sew this to your main towel, you'll be sewing this edge onto it, and this will be the front of the hood. Thanks for watching.